Hey gang, in today's video I'm going to share with you a number of tips that you can implement right away to help increase your metabolism, losing fat faster, and one aspect that usually gets thrown into these tips that is 100% completely a myth. Hey guys, all right, so we're talking about ways to increase your metabolism, and first things first, you gotta make sure you're eating enough calories per day. A lot of my clients come to me and they've been on an excessive or extreme calorie reduction or calorie deficit diet for months, and they may have lost a little bit of weight initially, but now they're plateaued, they're actually gaining a little bit of weight, they're frustrated. It's just a big snowball of nastiness. So you want to make sure that you're eating enough calories per day. Therefore, you need to know how many calories you should be consuming per day. And real quick, just as a generic, this is not the best equation by far. It's not the equation I use, but body weight times 10 for women, body weight times 12 for men if you're on a fat loss diet, and then body weight times 14, and body weight times 16 if you're on maintenance calories, 14 being for women, 16 being for men. Just make sure that if you're on that fat loss diet and you run these numbers that you're coming in at around the 1200 calorie mark, and if you're not a petite woman, then raise them up to like 1500, okay? I don't like low calorie diets. I don't want to give you this advice and have you do this for another 6 months. If you're unsure, connect with me and we'll help you out there. Okay, but there's plenty of calorie equations online that you can figure out, but the general one, like I said, fat loss, body weight times 10 or 12, maintenance, body weight times 14 or 16. Okay, so making sure you're eating enough calories is important. Otherwise, if you've been on excessive calorie restriction for so long, your metabolism starts to slow down, which is what we've seen in the recent studies and the recent features online with the Biggest Loser contestants. They just, once they get off the extremism, they have a tough time staying there and their body just regains weight, and we don't want that, okay? Eat enough food. Next is protein. We want to make sure we're eating enough protein. Protein has the highest thermic effect of food, coming in at like 20 to 30% of calories in protein being used as energy in the digestion process. Whereas carbohydrates come in, I think, at like 6 to 8, and fat around 2 to 3. I could be a little bit off of those numbers for carbs and fat, but it's roughly single digits, okay? So like I said, protein has the highest thermic effect of food. It's also the most satiating, and you want to make sure, especially if you're on a fat loss diet, that you feel that your diet is satisfying, so eat protein. My recommendations here are 0.8 times body weight, unless you know your lean body mass, in which case it would be 1 gram of protein times body mass, or lean body mass, okay? So that's protein. Moving on to exercise is our next tip here. Now with exercise, I want to get into a few different things, but first I want to talk to you because with strength training is extremely important because it helps maintain our lean body mass, okay? And that's why strength training is important. What we thought for the longest time was that if you had more muscle, because we thought muscle was more metabolically active, where it was like 50 times, your muscle at rest would burn 50 times more calories than fat at rest, we thought building more muscle was the benefit. Unfortunately, that's not quite true. It's actually, I think it's Dr. Bouchard or Brochard, I should know that. This person's work basically showed that muscle burns roughly 6 to 10 calories compared to fat burning roughly 2 calories while at rest. So over the course of a day, I think this is actually his analogy or his comparison, you're only really burning enough calories to eat an Oreo cookie. 1. Okay? I bet you can't just eat 1. So now don't think that strength training is useless. There's no place for it. No. Strength training helps maintain our lean body mass. Like I mentioned earlier, my clients who came to me on those extreme calorie deficits, they were losing lean body mass. We want to maintain our lean body mass, especially if you've gained some muscle. You don't want to lose that muscle. Okay, muscle's hard to build. You want to keep that muscle. So maintain your lean body mass through strength training. All right, we got it. What kind of strength training or what kind of exercise? Well, the first thing I think is the best, and that is combining strength training with low rest periods to kind of get that cardio effect as well, which is called metabolic conditioning or metabolic training. It's really the basis behind CrossFit, which I'm not a big fan of, and I won't get in, that's a whole nother topic for another video. So if you're saying like, say like CrossFit is like a 9 out of 10 intensity, my programs for my clients are roughly around like a 7, okay, a 6 or a 7. So it's high intensity, but it's very doable and manageable over the course of the long haul. Whereas CrossFit, especially for those who are not ex-athletes, not great. Again, whole other video. I think I just got a whole bunch of dislikes on my video or on this video. Anyway, whatever. Moving on. So yes, I do like, using multi-joint exercises, compound movements, things like squats, deadlifts, lunges, bent over rows, chin-ups, things that, move multiple muscles at a time over the course of multiple joints. That's going to burn more calories. You can even combine big movements like a squat and a press. That's going to be awesome. But the key here is having that small rest time to burn so many more calories than if you were just to do like a set of bicep curls, rest for like a minute or two, bicep curls, and so on and so forth. Doesn't mean that's bad, okay? So again, if you're using squats with that same protocol, squat, rest for 2 minutes, squat, rest. Again, it's a big compound exercise, still really, really, really good. I'm just giving you the benefit here, or the big bang for your buck type thing, and that is combining these exercises with very short rest times to burn as many calories as possible and increase your hormone profile as well. So these types of things actually help improve your fat loss hormone. So reason being is because you burn so many calories, it's so you're exhausted, your body gets into that, it needs to repair, and that's because of a process called EPOC, which is excess. Car just went by. EPOC is excess post-oxygen consumption, or post-exercise oxygen consumption. Let me get that right. Excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. There we go. And that basically allows you to burn calories up to 24, 48, even 72 hours after your workout. Whew. So that's great. If you are somebody who likes to do cardio, you can do endurance cardio where you're doing like 20, 30, 40 minutes of cardio at a lower intensity. That's fine as well. We'll get into that in a second. Or you can be somebody who's doing the high intensity intervals. Again, very similar to the metabolic conditioning. You're doing sprints, you're doing, whether it's running sprints, you're doing sprints on the bike, you're doing sprints in the pool, jump rope sprints, rollerblade sprints, whatever it is. Those are also great. Those will also raise your EPOC, burning calories outside of the session as well, with a huge calorie burn in the session. Now, I mentioned endurance training. So a lot of us, it's just our human nature, like, okay, what's the best thing to do? Okay, metabolic conditioning with weights and metabolic conditioning with, or high intensity interval training with cardio. I'm gonna do both. And what happens is we just burn out. We don't enjoy going to the gym anymore. We don't enjoy doing any cardio. We don't enjoy life. We're in a bad mood all the time. Where our hunger hormones out of whack. It's just a mess, okay? So you're gonna have a combination, create that balance, that's key. So what I usually do with my clients is like 2 or 3 workouts of metabolic conditioning, and then 2 workouts of endurance training where they're going for like a 30, 40 minute bike ride, walk, whatever it might be per week, okay? And again, you can vary that up anyway. You can even incorporate a little bit of high intensity training in there. So maybe take away 1 day of your metabolic conditioning. So 2 metabolic conditionings, 1 high intensity interval cardio, and then 1 or 2 low intensity cardio. Okay, so you can divvy it up. Just try to get a nice combination of all of them. That way, you're not killing yourself. Again, risking injury, hating life, hating your workouts, blah blah blah. Okay, guys, moving into sleep. Sleep is the next one here. Going over quantity and quality. Quantity sleep is important. You want to make sure you're getting like roughly 8 hours of sleep per night. But you want to make sure that you're going to bed at like 10 p.m. and take advantage of the body's natural release of the hormone melatonin. This is our sleep hormone. It helps to replenish, rebuild tissue, and repair, okay? So a lot of my clients get 8 hours sleep, but they go to bed at like 1 a.m. in the morning. Well, when they wake up, they're actually behind the 8 ball. They didn't repair nearly as much as they could have, especially over the long term. One night's not going to affect you too much, but over the course of years, decades, this catches up to us. So make sure you go to bed around like 9:30, 10, 10:30 at the latest to take advantage of that. The key here is your pre-bed routine, which is ensuring you have quality sleep. Turning off electronics, dimming the lights, doing something that you enjoy doing just to chill out and kind of set the environment, not only internally, but externally. So like I said, dimming the lights, turning off electronics. Even if you're wearing, the blue blocking glasses and you use the F-Lux app on your phone or computer, I don't know if it's 100% effective. I know it's better than nothing, but I don't know if it's 100%. Get rid of that, guys. Read a book with pages, okay? Prepare your food for the next day. Take a bath. Write in a journal. Meditate. Play with your kids. Play with your pets. I always joke, play with your spouse. Remember that? Okay? All kinds of things you can do to help prepare your mind and your environment before you actually hit the bed. Okay? And then just some quick sleep tips here. Make sure your bedroom is the darkest, the coolest room. You're wearing nice loose clothing, or you're sleeping naked for the best possible sleep. Any little bit of light comes in can potentially trick your body into thinking it's daytime. You don't want that. Okay, so those are my tips right there for improving metabolism. One of the tips that always gets thrown in here that drives me absolutely batty is because of the low carb community, and that is that grains, sugar, and even fruit ruins our metabolism. Drives me nuts, okay? This is not the way insulin works. Insulin is actually very anabolic. Insulin drives glucose into our cells. Insulin helps suppress appetite. The whole basis of the low carb community drives me nuts too, because protein, when it breaks down, it causes an insulin spike. And a low carb diet is actually a high carb or a high protein diet as well, low fat. So by their own recommendations, we should all be on a high fat, low carb, low protein diet, which nobody's on. So I don't even understand that. Anyway, I went off on a little bit more deeper detail in my book review of Wheat Belly in my series called Books, Barbells, and Beefcake. You can check that out here. And yeah, it drives me absolutely nuts. It's not the way it works. Fruit has all kinds of great things like fiber, water, micronutrients that help us lose weight, help us build muscle, help us function for enzymes and hormones. It's just ridiculous to hear that you should be avoiding fruit. Even if it's trying to avoid high glycemic fruit, that's a myth as well. The glycemic index, even for diabetics, isn't the best thing to go by as well. So don't be afraid of fruit. In fact, it's unfortunate, but I was at a barbecue yesterday and I saw a number of overweight and obese people go to the buffet, grab a hamburger or a hot dog and just a salad. Now, because hamburgers have like 27 grams of fat per a 6-ounce patty, I know this because that's what I eat, that's a lot of calories. And 1 gram of fat has 9 calories. So I understand that's a lot of calories. If they know this and they're trying to save on calories and that's why they're not eating the bun, that's okay. I'm okay with that. But I have a feeling that they avoided the bun because they are under this impression that carbohydrates cause this insulin spike, which causes body fat and wrecks our metabolism. It's not the case, guys. Not the case. I have been absolutely shredded on just about every diet there is. As long as you're in a calorie deficit, you're taking care of your hormonal health, you're managing stress, fat loss will take care of itself for the most part, unless you have some genetic issues, okay? So that's my myth. Hate that myth, or hate that thing, or that aspect, that topic that's actually a myth. That's today's video, guy. I hope you got something from it. If do me a favor, do me a solid. Hey, share this video. Plenty of people can hear it because I know, like I said, I saw it. There's tons of people out there who think that carbohydrates are evil. They're not. Hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, have a great day. Take care.